Hi, Michael Mowbray from MoLight here, and I want to talk about two of the most exciting products to come out of Godox in at least the last few months or the last half of 2024, and that's the AD200PRO version 2 and the V1PRO speedlight. Now, there's a lot of new things with each one of those, but they both also share something in common that really very few people are talking about, and I'm going to share that with you in a little bit. But first, let's talk about some of the highlights of each one of these products if you're not very familiar with them yet. So the AD200PRO II is the updated version of the AD200PRO, which was the updated version of the AD200, which has been around for about 7-8 years now. What's cool about the AD200PRO Pro II is that Godox has listened to everybody's talking about, okay, what are the weaknesses of the AD200 and AD200PRO? And they addressed it. So one of the most important things that they did is that they have put better modeling lights not only into the speedlight Fresnel head, but there's now a modeling light in the bare bulb head. And before you ask, no, you can't use these new heads on your AD200PRO and your AD200. They only will work with the AD200PRO II because it has to have a special power connection in order to power these modeling lights. So let's take a look at it. It's just a little bit bigger than the regular AD200PRO. The head's a little bit bigger, as you can see. What else has changed? The LCD and the power switch. The power switch, the analog power switch is gone. It's on the back now as part of the new LCD. So let's power this thing up. And you got a soft switch. And now you'll also notice there is a color LCD back here that is very, very easy to read and easy to see. Godox listened. The old LCDs were hard to read, especially outside. These are very, very easy to read. So if you're outside in fairly bright light, you're still going to be able to read your LCD. That's awesome. Having the soft switch back here instead of the side analog switch should solve one of the problems. One of the repair problems is if these fall, they drop, whatever, a lot of times that switch breaks. You don't have an analog switch there anymore. It's all part of the LCD. And it's also protected a little bit by the lip here. So that's a big thing. But let's take a look at this modeling light, because the modeling light in both the bare bulb, and as a matter of fact, I'm just going to power this down for a second. I just think it's a good idea to power things down before you swap heads. So I'm going to take off the Fresnel head, and I'm going to show you the bare bulb head. And you can see it's a little bit bigger, but you can see the modeling light that's built in around the flash tube. So let's power this back up, and we'll show off this modeling light. And turn it on. You can see back here it's got, you can control the power of the modeling light. You can also control the color temperature. That's pretty cool. This will go from 2800 degrees Kelvin up to 6000 degrees Kelvin. So if you want to use either head, the Fresnel head or the bare bulb head, as like a little LED, if you just need a little pop of light, if you're shooting some video, or maybe you're in the dark and you just need a little light to focus with, whatever, a lot of different things you can use these a little bit more powerful LED modeling lights for. So let's just go back in here, and I'm just going to change, if you can see this as we do this, we're going to take that's the power, and we're just going to change the color. And yeah, you can see it's getting warmer. That's 2800 degrees. We're going to take it back up to 5600, and then we're just going to turn that off, and it's off. So very, very cool. Fan cooling built into the body and the heads of these, so you shouldn't run into thermal shutdown as quickly as you did with the AD200PRO and the AD200. So again, a lot of thought went into keeping what worked with these. The form factor works well. It's a familiar form factor for everybody. Will still work in an S2 Bowens adapter. You're gonna have to slide it in this way because this part ain't gonna fit in there. So you have to slide it in this way, but you can still use your S2 Bowens adapter with these. But now you have that much better modeling light built into that. So I think it's an ideal combination of keeping the best of the old and adding in some new stuff. So those are the highlights. There's a lot of other stuff with this too. You can look at all the specs and features online. But let's talk a little bit about the V1PRO, and then we'll talk about what brings these two flashes together. The V1PRO is the speed light I wanted for many, many, many years when I was photographing weddings. I would have killed, I would have at least maimed. I would have slightly hurt somebody just to be able to get one of these. What excites me about this? A couple of things. One, it's got a clip-on. It's a removable, but it's a clip-on front fill flash. So I was always bouncing light. Anytime, and even now, I rarely use the speed light anymore, but even now I'm looking to try to bounce. If I was going to photograph in my office here, I have white ceilings. The walls are actually gray. So I have color gel or color LEDs on the background, but they're actually gray. So I could bounce light off the gray. I could bounce light off the white and create a bigger light source. So I almost always had the head pointing somewhere other than directly at the subject. But there are times you need a little bit of fill flash, especially for weddings and processionals and receptions, things like that. You need a little kick of fill flash to get a little light in the eyes, and maybe to soften any shadows, things like that. So I think brilliant. You can control this separately from the power of your speed light. So you might be shooting TTL here, you can shoot manual here. Cool, okay? I love that. And then if you don't like it, take it off. You can remove it. So that's cool. Good modeling light built into this, like the regular V1. The battery is similar to what was in the V1 and the V863, but now, if you can see this, there is, let's get in the light, there we go. There's a USB-C port that you can plug directly into the battery. So you don't need the charger, especially if you're on the go. You just have a USB-C cord and a little brick that you can plug into an outlet. You're at the reception hall, you plug this in, you can plug it into your battery, you can charge your battery. You don't need to carry a separate charger around. So anything that allows you to be faster, lighter, more portable, I think is awesome. But I'm not hitting the biggest thing to me. I think those are all cool features. I love those features. But you can shoot 100 full power pops back to back to back to back to, I'm not going to do it 100 times, but back like in a row without entering into thermal shutdown. There's no other speed light that I'm aware of out there that'll do that right now. Every other one is going to hit a thermal shutdown much quicker. They redesigned how the capacitors, how the power is delivered in the head, how the cooling is happening there. There's some pretty cool physics and stuff going on in this. And Wes, if you see any of, I can't think of Wes's last name right now, but Wes did a great video explaining some of the physics on this. And it's from a performance standpoint, where speed lights often fail for us is we need to fire, and then all of a sudden we're not getting recycles because the flash is starting to overheat and we're starting to overtax the battery. This would do 100 full power flashes. Doesn't mean it's going to go bang, 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 bang on a full power flash, but it will keep up and it's going to keep firing. So I think that's hugely important. So great speed light. Still a lot less than buying a Canon or a Nikon or a Sony speed light. These are $349. Or $320, I think $329. I should know this. I don't know. I don't have it in my notes here. So V1PRO, AD200PRO II are great flashes, great new flashes. But what brings these together is the one thing that people really aren't talking about, and is that both of these will accept an external power pack. You may be familiar with this if you had an AD360 or an AD362. This is the PB960 power pack. Godox still makes it. And now you can use these with the AD200PRO II and the V1PRO. They have ports on them to accept a cord. So you take your Canon type cord, which we sell, it's called the CX cord. You plug it into your power pack. You plug this into the port on the side of the AD200PRO II, or on, I believe it's on the front of the V1PRO. And then now you've got a much bigger power source, so your battery will last forever. Back in the day, back in my day, I used to use TT685s with this power pack. The TT685s ran on 4 AA's, the rechargeable AA's. I would use this power pack to clip into those. I'd have this clipped on my on my belt, and I could really get faster recycle times and have my batteries last much longer. If you want to have even faster recycle times, there's another little thing that we've had these around forever. It's a Y cord. We have these on the website along with the The PB960 power pack, the CX cord, and the Y cord allows you to pull power from both ports on the battery pack. And then that will connect into your AD200PRO II or your V1PRO. So cool. If you got one of these laying around, now you've got a new use for it. If you don't have one of these laying around, guess what? We sell new ones. Imagine that. So I just wanted to share this with you guys because I don't know if you knew about this. I don't see people talking about it. It's actually one of the things that I was most excited about when some of the specs came out ahead of time for these, and then everything went silent. So we do have these in the MoLight store. I do sell the AD200PRO II along with a power pack and a cord as part of a kit on the website. You just have to go to the flashes and go to the AD200PRO and AD200 section of the website that has all these things in there, and it's in there as a bundle. You can pick up the CX cord separately. It's in the accessories. It's also going to be in the speedlight section. It's also going to be in the AD200 section. And then the power pack is going to be in all those sections as well. So check it out. I'm not going to quote prices because off the top of my head, I can't remember, but I wanted to make you guys aware of these things and let you know that there are some solutions if you struggle with faster recycle times and power and how long your batteries last. There are new things out there along with these new flashes that can help solve some of these problems for you. So thanks for listening and talk to you soon.